Last I heard, you lived in a house constructed of keyboards and you ate mostly gas station Hot Pockets.
Yes, we'll go with that.
Okay. Who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you got into last week?
Meat. Just the word meat over and over again 100 times.
Is that what you titled the YouTube session?
That was the stinger quote.
Yeah, it was the stinger quote. I forgot. I said I was going to title the session something, and I don't remember what it was. So I had to come up with a different title.
Like Super Meat something. It wasn't going to be Super Meat Boy, but...
Super Meat Boy!
I think I titled the last session, like, Black Mirror or something.
Yeah, Black Mirror.
Should have called it Red Mirror.
But I described
Mirror.
the mirror as silvered many, many times.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen,
He's trying to game the YouTube algorithm.
Right, yeah,
That's
exactly.
happening.
I'm gaming.
Is Black Mirror even still like a hot property right now?
Probably
They're
not.
making a new season at some point, I think.
I thought they said they weren't making any new seasons because shit got too real for them.
Yeah,
That was why they stopped, and I think they're talking about finally making another season.
Oh, I can inform you that I have successfully bullied Buttface into going back and counting the familiar deaths, and he has informed us you are up to a score of 31 as of the end of last session.
Nice. All right, I'll take it. I literally just read a forum thread on like Reddit this week about how if your DM kills your familiar, he's stealing your agency and you should find a better DM.
Well, I mean, he is stealing 10 gold from you every time he does it.
So we've spent 310 gold on familiars this campaign.
That sounds about right. We all have them.
Like we have spent enough gold on familiars that I could have fashioned 1.5 magic items.
Edmont hasn't used this familiar because its bonus action is so much more important for other things.
Right, yeah. I haven't used my familiar because I don't like keeping up with the damn thing.
If you stack all the familiars I've killed foot to shoulder, one on top of the other, you could reach the moon and back 3 times.
That's some really tall familiars.
I just love all these fake statistics we're throwing out. Why are you guys in Meat World?
We are here to...
Messrs. Alanic Ray and Arthur Sedgwick thought it would be a really good idea for us to go use questionable science to go inside of a magic mirror to see what was trapped behind there.
In their defense, they didn't know it was meat.
There was also meat, but there's also face sticks.
Okay.
Yeah, Burkhardt loves mind flayers, so today is our mind flayer for the day.
I think I've used mind
Campaign.
flayers in every single campaign I've run so far.
I don't think you actually used one directly in the first one, but giving us both barrels every other campaign since.
Mind flayers are great to throw at players who think they're hot shit because they make you make intelligence saving throws.
Ha! Joke's on these nerds. Guess what? All of us are proficient in intelligence saving throws.
Yeah, but then you all immediately dumped intelligence, so...
Only one of us dumped intelligence. We all
plus
strength.
5 to my intelligence save. Thank you very much.
That is my DM advice for anybody out there who, how do I challenge my players? Target the dump stats. Find out what they dumped, and then make them wish they hadn't. Also kill their familiars.
Make the familiars make the saving throws too.
I am shocked that Not a Buttface managed to turn that around so quick in a week.
He just made up the number. He didn't actually count it up, I'm sure.
I asked him, did you actually count this up, or are you just throwing a number out there?
How long would it take to watch the entire archive from front to beginning, or beginning to
There's
end?
30 sessions just of this campaign, and each one is multiple hours long. He did not watch them all and count them in a week.
No, I've been asking him to do this for months.
Oh.
I've been bullying him about this for a while.
It's his own fault because he kind of pigeonholed himself as the guy who counts deaths.
His response was, "I have one superpower."
counting deaths.
Did he count how many times the rest of us died?
No, just
I
the familiars.
I think Evie has to be in the lead by far.
For those of you who don't know, Nada Buttface is a good friend of ours who has created many death compilations of Brickroad's various escapades.
The answer to that, Solitayre, is 0. None of us have died.
Not yet, anyway. However, you have
Consciousness-
just entered a chamber made out of flesh. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it's a big old meat room, and I'm not happy about it, but here we are, and
Genie and
Yeah.
Edmont, standing on the precipice of the flesh chamber, where the walls and these pillars in the center are made out of what can only be described as humanoid tissue. What's missing, that takes you a few seconds to register, is that no part of the room is radiating warmth, which is what you would expect if it was made out of living tissue.
Oh, it's a giant undead room. Cool.
Victor
Zombie
will
flesh.
saunter up to see what's going on.
Yeah.
What do you guys find?
that.
What am I looking at?
So on the far sides of the room, there is a passage here, and one over here, and this is not working. Oh no, my lens of truth. Okay, hold on. I need to... Oh no, it's over here. There's
You
another
need to
one.
drink a green potion, Brick Road. You charge all your MP.
I just had that happen to me in randomizer. last
Rando.
night. Or I could not
Turtle
use my
Rock
lens
will
of
do that
truth.
to you.
Turtle Rock.
Oh,
is only
that would've been-
past.
Would have been Zoot.
There is no lens of truth in Link to the Past. I need to make sure that you know that before we can continue.
Yes, I've played Link to the Past many times, but that's where I run out of magic personally, is in Turtle Rock.
But not by using the lens of truth, because there's no lens of truth in that game. I really
No,
need to be
I-
clear on this
Yeah,
before we can
okay.
continue our friendship.
There is no lens of truth in Link to the Past.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, Victor, you shoulder your way forward and
Very unpleasant, yes.
room made of flesh.
Did we push him in, Edmont?
No.
How far down is it to the bottom? Is it like a slope?
No, actually, you have to climb down this wall of flesh, probably 15 or 20 feet, and it looks like some areas of the room are deeper than others.
Is
Are
this a
those-
floor-to-ceiling pillar?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like there's something hiding in the pillars. What do you guys think? Like, it's obviously a trap.
I mean, Genie is going to pick up some pebbles on the ground, if there are any.
No, wait, Genie. I have a
What?
better idea. Victor will fling one of his psionic knives at the first pillar.
Okay.
Given the reaction that happened last time, he attacked something with a psionic something.
And you do that.
Nothing screams out or cries.
Not that you can hear. There's no physical reaction because it's a psychic knife.
What's the light level in the meat room?
Fairly brightly lit because
Okay.
a lot of the parts of these sections of walls you can see where high up on the walls, the flow of the blue brain liquid seeps into the room.
I mean,
The
was
liquid
there...
that I stepped over here flowing in toward the spiral room.
Do you guys think we should go this way, or should we go check the other passage first?
If the
passage had
compass
a-
rose down here is accurate, McDohl, this little stream here is flowing east.
Okay.
There's a wall of force the other way. This is the only way we can go.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that is a wall of force.
So let me.
If you want, I will draw in the walls of force for you because I realize they might be a little tricky to see on the map. Oh, someone's already
I
got
will.
one. Excellent.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Treble is, and then there was one down here too.
I feel like if we set this on fire, it might smell really bad.
Why don't we just go? Ekon, are you okay with meat room?
With what?
There's a room made of meat.
Ekon, come here.
We're all made of meat. I know that.
Come here, Ekon.
Yeah, but so is the room.
Yeah, it's just another person. It's fine.
Ekon, do you want to go down there?
How far down is the jump?
It's about
10,
15
feet,
or
you said?
yeah, about 15 feet or so. You could climb down relatively easily, but you'd have to climb down this wall made out of flesh.
Well, okay. I start to climb down the wall made of
Hang on,
flesh.
Genie. I'm noticing that there is like a hole here, which is very suspicious to me.
I mean, I'm hanging on this wall made of meat.
So, Genie, as you
Yeah.
go to climb down the wall automatically causes protrusions to come forth. These cold, clammy hands and feet to catch your own hands and feet as you climb down.
Ugh,
Well, that's handy.
Block.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Blah.
Victor smacks Genie on the side of the head. And
You can't reach her. She's down below you. You'd also have to climb down.
Yeah, Victor climbs down.
Genie.
He's intent on smacking her.
Walking across the flesh, it's wet and slightly suppurating. Like you've got to pull your boots up out of it. And you realize that where you're stepping, you're causing this congealed black blood to burst forth in places. It's about the consistency of a really sticky mud.
So, like, this is an undead flesh room, right? Like, I'm just making room for everybody to get down.
Evie really doesn't want to walk through this room.
Like,
We have very little choice otherwise.
Hurry. Ew.
also, I'd like to point out, Evie, that your boots are not currently real.
These
No,
aren't
it's
real
just-
boots.
I can already tell what's going to happen is like a mouth is going to form in the floor and just swallow me.
Let's go south quickly.
Yeah, this is gross. This is disgusting.
Ew.
This isn't any different than any of us.
Evie,
This is very different than the rest of us. Yes?
stop right there.
Uh-huh.
As your companions are starting to move south and climb their way up, and you're ewing your way. Are you coming in behind Orson here, or are you coming around the other side of this pillar?
Which way's shorter?
You wouldn't know from that position.
Oh, probably south.
Okay. So as you circle around here,
Uh-huh.
I need you to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
I could do that.
I'm just moving myself into an actual grid space here.
I rolled a 1. I
Okay.
need to point out that I pre-rolled this dice
Don't you?
until it got a 1, so I've rolled 2 1s in a row.
Don't
So that's a 4.
don't pre-roll dice. What have we learned? You don't pre-roll dice.
That's what, like a 6?
No, it's a 4.
Evie,
Uh-huh.
you suddenly feel very, very lost. Both spatially and emotionally. And suddenly,
That's not a lot different from how Evie usually feels.
the pillar next to you, a dead arm reaches out from it, inviting. And you grasp it. And Genie, as you're moving south out of the corner of your eye, you and Orson see Evie leaning forward, face first, against this pillar.
Genie goes, ah! And she, like, do I have time to do something?
Depends on what you want to do.
I want to cast a spell on her.
What spell?
Vortex Warp.
Okay.
Okay. So, is she willing? Does she willingly? I'm asking you.
Mhm.
Does she willingly let me move her?
What's the saving throw for that?
Constitution did be DC 17.
Okay, yeah, if you go ahead and make that saving throw. Because you would
Don't
not
have.
be able to willingly allow yourself
The
to do
good, the good news, I rolled badly again.
That's good.
news.
So that's also a 4.
Okay. You just plop down right here.
So, Evie, you find yourself up at the top of this next cliff overlooking the flesh room from the south. And for a moment, your mind is just swimming. That sensation of feeling lost and allowing yourself to be guided by this mysterious hand in the wall fades very quickly.
Where am I?
Coming out of the other side of a dizzy spell.
Evie, you okay?
How did I get here?
I don't. Genie, did you do that?
Colors are bad. Genie Hills tried to eat Evie.
I knew it! I told you!
Get up here.
Oh, well, never mind.
So, Victor, about 15 feet after you climb back up, and the handhelds are very accommodating to get up the other side of the wall, just as they were getting down. 15 feet forward, there's another flow through the floor, again heading to the east. And about 15 feet beyond that is another force field, force barrier, psychic barrier, whatever you want to call it.
Guys, this way is blocked too.
All right.
Do I have to walk back through the meat room again?
Stay against the wall this time.
Everybody link hands. Hold hands.
No. I'm gonna do something else. Edmont is going to wall run over to this landing.
Of course he is.
Go off. What about the rest of us?
Edmont.
Checking the safety of the way ahead.
Don't get too far ahead.
So about 30 feet or so down this hallway is another force field. On the other side of this force field, you can see into the room a large rock. Through many places on it, you see the blue brain liquid spouting forth and flowing through it like a fountain. You also see upon the rock are carved dozens and dozens of faces. Through this force field, you see a room where many tributaries of the blue brain water are flowing.
I have a terrible idea, guys.
I love terrible ideas.
Evie, how much poison do you have?
Not enough to do anything to this water.
You don't think putting poison in the water might do something?
No, I don't. It would take an awful lot of poison to poison this room.
I mean, it kind of depends on how sensitive it is, doesn't it?
It's dead flesh, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
it doesn't really seem to be alive, so I don't think poison would do anything.
Yeah, Edmont crouches down over here and calls out to the others and says, "There's another barrier over here," and he'll describe what he sees beyond.
Okay.
Well, let's get out of the room and discuss what we want to do.
Agreed.
Victor is gonna go to the brain fluid stuff.
Mhm.
And he's gonna scoop some up with his hand to look at it.
Well, it's got the same kind of consistency and viscosity as water, so you're not really scooping any up. And the space here is too small for you to try to squeeze into. When you put your hand down into it, it feels like a cool stream, like cool water.
Brother, make some space for me.
So he doesn't turn into a brain and slide into the room over here?
No, because he's just putting his arm down into the water. He's not trying to squeeze down into the hole.
Should we head back to the other room and see what happens if we jump into this stuff again?
We already know. We go around in
We
circles.
already know. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll take us to a different place though.
No, all the
We
things.
literally watched Ekon do a couple of laps around this while he was, metatonic.
That's an interesting word.
All right. Ekon, do you have anything that could break a force field?
I mean, not unless you can burn it.
Do you have stone shape prepared?
This is. I don't know if this is even
No.
stone.
Hmm.
Doesn't feel like stone to the touch, does it?
It does and it doesn't. Make me an Arcana check.
Yeah, can any of us help?
I'll let each of you make an individual check
Oh, okay.
if you're trained in Arcana.
Yeah. No.
The 20.
20.
That's a 21.
Genie.
Nope.
On the musings of whether this stuff is stone or not. I mean, to your eyes and to your senses, it does strike you as stone. But you know that it's not, because it's not a stone structure. You're inside of the magical cavity of this artifact mirror. The things that you're seeing in here and what your senses are telling you are here aren't real.
Oh,
Does Victor get that same impression?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
a similar Arcana check.
So, Victor would like to try something, if that's okay.
Okay.
Victor, assuming that maybe this is all just some sort of mind game that's being played on us, he's going to try really hard to believe that there is no wall and walk through it.
Okay. And it's easy to believe that there's no wall, because it's kind of just this shimmering force field that you're looking at. And you try to believe really, really hard that it's not there, and then you bump right into it.
Worth a try.
okay. So we're blocked on all sides. There was a pool back here, right? You said another pool up on the
Where?
on this shelf, right here. If I
Yes.
remember correctly.
Wherever you see them interacting with walls like this, you could climb up the wall and into the pool if you so desired. There's also a few of them inside the flesh room.
Let's do it, Genie.
Well, let's investigate the nearest pool, I guess, and see if it's flowing a different direction. And we can go back
Looks
and
like
look
it's
at this
probably
one.
about like 20 or so feet up in the flesh room, isn't it?
Yeah. If you want, we can either all go together, or Edmont can go and I can kind of watch you for shenanigans that happen to Evie and pull you out if you want me to.
So are these
Drop down.
holes... Sorry, are these holes in the wall down here?
No, there's
Good.
nothing. There's just kind
Okay.
of dark spaces on the map.
Okay.
Maybe on the original map. Oh, we haven't credited this map yet, I guess. There we go.
You mentioned this last time. I remember this corner being unrevealed, and then
Alter.
You credited him last
So,
time.
maybe Ataraxian Bear's original intent was that you step into this room and like zombies would start crawling out of these little holes, but nothing happens. Edmont.
Sure.
Yeah, you cross the flesh room. You get to the other side, and yeah, climbing up this wall is no more difficult than any other walls.
Yeah,
Fleshy handholds appear for you to climb up.
Is it, which way is it flowing, Edmont?
It's flowing east.
Yeah.
Flowing east. Okay.
All right. Bloop.
Okay, bear with me 1 second.
Gotta turn on the other filter in Photoshop.
I do, actually.
All right.
What is your intelligence score?
Intelligence score is 12.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
Out. Oh,
You come popping out of the brain stream.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not.
Oh.
You've got the guy in the crystal up here.
Yeah.
Victor will... Does he... Yeah, I guess it hasn't been that long, right? He still has his telepathic connection with people.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, you don't That's not a resource you have to spend. It's just kind of a light switch you flick on and off, isn't it?
Yeah, it lasts for a number of hours. So,
I'm back at the
Edmont?
Crystal Spire.
Where are you, Edmont?
I'm back at the Crystal Spire.
Guys, he's back at the Crystal Spire.
Looks like the channel just flows right back around into the Crystal Spire room.
Is there a way to reverse the flow, maybe?
There was an altar in that room, right?
Make an
was.
intelligence check.
Me?
Yes.
Intelligence is not my best stat,
Okay.
but okay.
Even though both
You're the
nobles
one who
and
used on it.
rogues use
That's
intelligence.
a 16.
16. You ask if there's a way to reverse the flow, because it occurs to you, like you guys have traveled by river before, and boats have means of going both up and down river, but it occurs to you that you haven't tried yet, and you're not even sure what that would entail.
Like the little brainstem causes it to like spin like a propeller. I don't know.
There may be some means of traveling these channels both ways, but we haven't figured out how yet. Right now, we're just kind of going with the flow.
Let's go back to the center room. Victor's gonna climb along the wall, trying to avoid being on the floor to get to that one there.
Okay. In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
Out.
Watch your brains.
1,
Float
2,
by-
3, 4.
Ekon, in or out?
Reverse?
Make me an intelligence check.
An intelligence check of 16.
16, in or out?
Out.
Ekon, you arrive slightly upstream from your companions.
Did I see that brain slip through like this channel and then like start trying to flagellate up the channel?
What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is a 12.
12? Probably not with a 12, but
Okay.
you know that you hopped out at one point and Ekon hopped out upstream from you.
That was weird, brother.
Go to the altar and start to look at it while they get here.
Go to the altar.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has like a flat, smooth, kind of granite-looking base. The structure itself looks like it's made of some sort of bizarre metal. And there are 7 scoops, for lack of a better word. 3 on the left, 3 on the right at varying heights. And then the center one protruding somewhat forward at about the level of your head. And each of the scoops looks just big enough to hold a human brain.
Not putting my brain in that.
I'm going to hop in.
Okay.
And I'm going to think. So the water's flowing east. The fluid's flowing east. I'm gonna try to direct it to flow west. To swim west.
Okay.
Okay.
Make an intelligence check.
That's 24.
24? Left or
Yeah.
right?
Sorry, left.
Left or right?
Left.
Left or right?
Right.
Left or right?
Right.
In or out?
Out.
Genie, you find yourself in a new place. The chamber is lit where you exit from. So you're kind of perched up on the edge of the stone pool here. You can see that just below you, dangling, or under where your feet are dangling, the channel is flowing to the south.
Huh?
The sensation you have when you exited tells you that's not the way you came. You came in here. You flowed into this room. I don't know if you're following my little hand or not.
Yeah.
You flowed into this room. You went against the flow, up the channel, and around into here. So I'll actually give you the whole channel that you took.
Victor.
Yeah, Genie, where are you?
I'm in a different room.
Well, then let me describe this room to you. The place where you're sitting is lit with the same luminous blue glow. However, the rest of the room is lit with pale orange light. You see 3 thrones built high up on daises overlooking a bizarre pit in the center of the room. And flanking each of these 3 thrones are 2 torch sconces where these pale orange flames are burning. Each of the thrones has a creature sitting upon it. The one nearest to you here has a vaguely humanoid creature. Well, more than vaguely. Not human to your eyes. The proportions are wrong in its carriage and its limbs. And it has pointed ears. And the most bizarre skin tone. This pale ashen gray bordering on white. In this throne, at this distance, you see less detail, but a second humanoid, but a much, much smaller one. A child, perhaps. The third throne is not a humanoid at all, but some kind of bizarre monster floating above the throne. All 3 of these figures sit motionless, overlooking the pit in the center.
Genie says, I'm going to do something. I'm probably going to do the most sensible thing that I've ever done in my life. And I'm going to sit right here and wait for you guys to figure out how to get here.
Okay.
So Victor will, I guess, abandon the throne or the altar for the moment and start going to each of these little holes and calling out, Genie? Trying to find where she is.
What are Evie and Orson doing here?
I'm going to go into the channel because I don't know Genie's missing yet.
Okay. In or out?
Victor relays it.
In or out?
Out.
Out. So Evie, you pop out immediately.
She says, where's Genie?
And Orson, in or out?
Out. Like, I'm assuming like he's just going to follow Evie.
Yep. So Orson and Evie both pop out right here. Ekon, you popped out slightly upstream. Genie, you're in a different room entirely.
Genie will like walk Victor through like the sensations of what she tried, because she
tried to reverse when instead of choosing to stay in the stream or not, he tried to reverse himself, and that seemed to do something.
Yeah. And Genie said that she tried to direct it to flow a different direction. So she
Genie, are you saying that Evie was right?
What?
Evie's idea of reversing the flow, are you saying that she was right?
My sister's always right. Get in the juice.
So Victor is basically going to go to each of these holes and call out to see if Genie can hear him.
Hang on. I have a way to do this. Evie casts locate object targeting all Veritas signet rings.
Genie's is at home in a drawer. It's on her finger in a room in Veritas Manor.
Yep. We're not actually carrying anything.
You're not physically in the mirror. So yeah, you locate it, but it's like above you at the very limits of this. It's what, like 1,000 feet? So yeah, you feel it 1,000 feet away above you, and you realize you're pinging it off her ring in her unconscious body in the mirror room in the manor.
Okay, so that spell is not going to help here.
Victor, yelling at all the holes, one after the other. Genie, you eventually do hear his voice coming from where this flow is heading down into the hole and away from you to the south.
Like, yeah, I hear you, but please stop screaming. There's other things in the room with me.
Okay. Guys, up here. She says we have to be quiet.
Is it possible to enter the stream like where I'm standing?
It's possible to enter the stream anywhere on the circle in the big room down here.
Okay, so if we enter like before it splits off and we try to will ourselves to go
Pull
north.
ourselves up the channel.
All right, so I'll go inside.
All right, make me an intelligence check.
Meat. Go for meat.
Intelligence of 15.
All right, left or right?
Right.
And in or out?
In?
Left or right?
I think you miss the turn at Albuquerque.
Left or right?
Left.
Good adventures go left.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
And you become aware that you've left the circle at some point and then re-entered it, and now you're just going around.
Okay.
Yeah, Edmont was going to try and watch his brother's brain.
So I'll let you pop out anywhere on any of these pink points.
Okay.
In the circle.
So I guess you should just get out of the stream immediately once you manage to get into the channel with Genie.
Yeah.
All right, then. Let me give it
Yeah.
a shot. Let me give it a shot.
The act of being in the stream is very disorienting. It's not until you've exited it that you can kind of sense which direction you've gone. Genie.
Yeah, let me give it a shot.
Yeah.
All three of the figures have not moved. Edmont, go ahead and give me an intelligence check, please.
Well, way to make me poop my pants.
3.
3. In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
In.
In or out?
Out.
And you find yourself squelching out of the flow in the circle.
Ugh,
I
damn
thought
it.
you were better than that. And Victor jumps in.
Ugh.
Victor,
Takes a bit more. Takes a little more mental fortitude than I thought.
bear with me one moment.
And he's like, don't mind me, just watching 3 scary dudes. One of them floating ominously.
He posing for dominance.
Edmont,
Sir.
you hop out about here.
Yeah.
You start making your way north towards your companions, presumably.
Yep. Presumably, yep.
Roll some initiative.
Okay.
Just him or all of us?
Everybody can roll. Genie, you can roll too, although I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, okay, sure.
My first good initiative roll ever.
Edmund, you want to go before me or after me?
I'd like to go before you.
Okay. Change places. No, just going 12. That's fine.
Edmont.
Sure.
Your head is swimming, like literally, because you were a brain in a pool, but your head's swimming a little bit as you exit. A little more than from your first couple of journeys. You realize, like, the exertion of the trip, and you didn't end up going the way you wanted. Like, fighting the flow is similar to fighting, like, trying to paddle up a river. If you try and fail, it can be kind of taxing and exhausting. And as you're processing, you realize that 2 creatures has flopped up out of the pool and are skittering towards you. And they
Don't
are
like that.
human brains with skittering spider legs.
I don't like this at all. Edmont yells out.
I'm gonna say everybody's surprised, unless you can't be. Edmont, can you be surprised?
I can be.
What's your passive perception?
12. Oh, yeah, 12.
Okay. Everyone's surprised except Edmont. Because no one was expecting where he was going to come out of the pool, and definitely not that he'd have friends with him. So I'll have my friends attack him first. The 2 human brains, who are not worth any experience points, because I forgot to jot down how many experience points they're
Worth infinity. Just shoot straight to level 20 due to a glitch.
right. All right.
You get advantage or overflow.
Oh, this isn't a to hit roll. This is a saving throw. I have a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
And I have an 18 to hit.
Yep.
Okay, so each one of them hits you with claws. Let's resolve those first. For 4 points of slashing damage.
Owie.
And 4 points of slashing damage.
Owie.
Just rolled 4 ones.
That's impressive.
Now I need you to make an intelligence saving throw. DC is 12.
Pass.
Okay, and make another intelligence saving throw.
Also pass.
Okay. So yeah, these things skitter out behind you. And you realize that like your brain flopped up and out of the juice. Are we calling it juice? Is that what we're going with?
Sure.
Fluid.
That's
You flop up and out of the juice, and like your body reconstituted around it. But something else flopped up with you. These creatures skitter forward. They slash out at you with their little spider limbs. But they're each trying to do something else. You realize they're each trying to devour you, though they have no physical mouths.
no thank you.
Alright, who's next?
Looks like Ekon.
Ekon is surprised, and then
Yep.
Edmont. Edmont, you're not surprised.
Key point to disengage.
Sure.
And fuck.
So the rest of you just see Edmont jogging his way up.
Brains. On claw legs.
What?
Brains on claw legs.
And that's the end of Edmont's turn.
Yeah.
Okay, and that brings us back to the top of the order with Evie, and now nobody is surprised.
EV with Orson.
Evie with Orson.
Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, dash 35, 40, 45, 50.
So you're climbing up onto these. Each one
Can
of
I
these.
do that?
Each one of these steps, I'm going to say, constitutes 10 feet of movement. So you just got to climb up onto it.
Okay, I need to recount that then. 5.
So it's not a difficult climb, but it's also
30.
not protruding hands to help you up.
Okay. 35, 40, 45, 50. That gets them in range. I'll throw a knife at this one.
Okay.
It's gross. I don't like it. That's 26 to hit.
That will hit.
9 points of magical piercing damage.
Okay.
And then I'll back up here because those things are gross.
And it is bloodied, which means it's even more gross now.
Ew. And that's it. That's I can give. Who wants advantage? No, I can't. I dashed. That's it.
Got Orson with purple token on deck.
Orson, fix it.
5, 10, 15, 20. And he's just going to stand here and dodge.
Purple token with Ekon on deck.
Okay. I'm going to eat Orson's brain.
You can try.
That's going to be a very unnourishing meal.
Orson probably has a higher intelligence score than you do.
Actually, this one would have to move first.
It's 10.
Also, didn't they just enter his threat range?
They
This one
did.
would.
Yep.
But he's only got one reaction.
Yes, he does. It's fine. Does a 26 hit?
Does.
That is 10 points. Magical piercing damage.
And it is bloodied. And now the other one can safely close in.
Right.
I've got a 20 to hit
Oh, well, that hits, yeah.
and a 14 to hit.
That doesn't hit.
10 points of slashing damage from the one that hits.
Okay.
And I need Orson Making sure I'm reading my thing properly. Yeah, I need Orson to make me a intelligence saving throw. DC is 12.
It's a 9.
A 9? I need to make me another one.
That is a 10.
What is his intelligence score?
7.
So he failed both of those, huh?
Yep.
This could be bad.
His intelligence is a 9?
No, his intelligence is a 7.
It's a 7. His intelligence is now 0.
Oh.
Evie, here's what you see. Orson steps in front of you with his spear, ready to receive this thing's charge. You've seen him do this same maneuver 1,000 times. And sure enough, as the things close in on him, he whips out the spear and he stabs one right through the center. Both of these things are bloodied. One of them gets a claw out. And then, all of a sudden, you see his eyes just go vacant. And he starts to wobble a little on his feet. Orson's intelligence is 0, and he is stunned. Who's next?
Ekon with Edmont on deck. So I can get to here. I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw on this one.
Just on the one?
Flame.
14.
Nope. So that'll be 17 radiant damage.
And that's enough. I don't know what burnt brain smells like, but you're smelling it now.
And then I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw on this one. Or, I'm sorry, Strength saving throw.
That's a 9.
And it's just going to get pushed back out of being on top of Orson.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
And who's next?
Got Edmont with Victor on deck.
Edmont, fix it.
Runs back in front of Orson. Give this brain some vitamin K is a sentence I just had to say. That's a 17 to hit.
17 will hit.
Come on, D6. Get out of the damn bag. Thank you.
Don't blame the bag.
That's 6 points of bludgeoning damage. Magical bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Extra attack. 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
And that's enough. You squash the brain bug.
Edmont turns around, puts his hands on Orson's shoulders. Orson! Shake, shake.
What happened?
He is stunned.
Orson, what's wrong?
Can I try a medicine check to see if I can figure out what's going on with him?
Give me an Arcana check at advantage because you're trained in both Arcana and Medicine. Or the other way around, whichever you want.
That would be a medicine of 29.
Physically, there's nothing wrong with him except for the scratch that he just took. But whatever the creature did to his brain, it's almost as though Orson is just a living shell without a brain at the moment. His intellect has just... It's as though it's been devoured.
Ekon, can you fix him?
Hold on. In fact,
Genie.
Yeah.
yes, but probably not. But not today.
The 3 figures in the throne have not moved.
Is there a way to like blow the horn just for Orson to send him back?
No.
You were told if you blow the horn, he's going to hit the button and drag all of you back.
Can we leave him here, maybe? Like towards the top of the steps? Would that be safer?
I don't want those things just plopped out of the out of the channel behind
We
me.
can't
I'm
leave
not
anyone
leaving them
alone here.
unattended here.
Genie, you feel
Mechanically,
very
is he,
unattended.
stunned?
I do feel very
Mechanically, he is stunned until he regains some intelligence.
But he's not dying.
No.
unattended.
He's managed to keep his feet and like a loose grip on his weapon, and he can be led if you were to lead him somewhere. But
Yeah.
it's actually very similar to traveling with Donique when you first arrived in Darkon.
The biggest problem is that if he has no intellect, he's not going to be able to navigate the stream, so he's
Yeah,
stuck in this room. If we put him at the top of the stairs, he may be a little bit safer if the brains can't climb.
Well, the brains were able to climb up onto this step here to attack Orson a moment ago.
Yeah.
We got to stash him somewhere.
So Victor is advocating abandoning Orson alone in the room while you all investigate the rest of the dungeon. Have I understood
Yeah,
that correctly?
absolutely.
He needs to be kept. He needs to have a chaperone.
Hey, Ekon, guys, I'm in this room by myself. What's going on? Come on.
Victor relays what's happening and then says, "I'll be there in a second." And he's like, he just sighs and says, "I don't know." And he
Try the Lesseration scroll. Tell Ekon to try the Lesseration scroll that he has. Lesser restoration scroll that he's carrying.
That can
No,
you have
that
those?
needs to be greater.
I mean, we've got a lesser. Might as well try it.
It's up to you, Ekon. Genie says it's worth a try, but you're the expert.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it won't work.
We need something that can reverse ability score damage.
Yeah, Lesser Restoration reverses a very specific list of conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, greater will do it. I just don't have it prepared. I don't have a scroll of it.
Victor is gonna go in the water to try and find Genie.
That is one of the key differences between Lesser and Greater Restoration. So, Victor, you're heading back into the water.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what to do with Orson, because he's basically trapped in this room.
Would you like to make an intelligence check?
I would like to pass an intelligence check.
Well, you have to make one in order to pass it.
Are you sure? Can't just skip it? Does a 21 work?
Okay, left or right?
I'm sorry, 17. It's not a saving throw.
17, left or right?
We're going to go right.
You're going to go right? Right will keep you in this room.
Even though he's... So the idea is to go...
Why had you jumping in
that's-
on this square? So going right at this juncture would keep you in this room. Is that the intent?
Oh, no, it'd be left.
In or out?
Out.
Victor, you pop out up here into
Victor
the
will
room with
immediately-
3 thrones.
And he will
And
immediately try
Genie immediately pushes you down to the floor, prone, and points at the 3 guys and just says, "Be very," and like makes a very quiet. It tells you to be quiet in your brain.
So, Victor, on this throne sits the human figure, but too thin, with pointy ears, with ashen gray skin. On this throne, looks like it sits a small child, and this throw, some kind of small creature floating above it because it lacks a humanoid structure.
So, given Victor's knowledge of archaeology and stuff, is it any chance that the one with the pointy ears is an elf?
It's possible. You'd have to actually go over and investigate more closely. And Genie
Yeah,
has
it's not
told
gonna
you not to do that.
Yeah, Victor is going to try and hide.
Meanwhile, back in the best room ever.
If we want to leave Orson here, I do have an idea.
What's your idea?
If we can't get him, through the brain mush, so I'll take Orson
Okay,
and I'll lead him up to here,
sure.
and then I will cast Guardian of Faith on this square and summon a Protector of Air to protect him for 8 hours. Actually,
Guardian of Faith. Have we ever seen this spell before?
No,
think
it's the
so.
main spell for me. It doesn't come up very often, but it's got like really niche use. But this is one of those niches.
This is the niche. A large spectral guardian hovers above for 8 hours, huh? It's not a concentration spell.
Excellent. That's
exactly what we need.
that's exactly what we need right there.
So if anything tries to attack them, they have to make a dex save or take a bunch of radiant damage.
Yep.
Okay. What does the guardian
Got 8 hours
physically look
until
like?
the spirit doesn't have anything left to sustain itself. I can cast that a few more times, but that'd probably fry one of those brains in one hit.
What is this? What kind of form does this guardian take?
It's kind of a spectral spirit, very classical angel, spectral spirit, heavy armor.
Okay.
Be not afraid, biblically accurate angel.
Well,
So Orson,
No, you're like more Magic the Gathering kind of angel.
Orson is just kind of like stooped down on the stone of the floor with spittle and drool coming down the side of his face. Still has a loose grip on his spear, and he's just staring blankly at nothing.
Orson, it's going to be okay. We're not leaving you.
Are you trying to convince him or you?
Yes.
Probably both. Ekon, you're sure he's going to be okay?
That's the most I can do for him unless we want to leave someone behind, which seems more dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay,
He
what's next?
looks
Little brain
conflicted,
things,
but
I'm pretty sure he'll be fine.
I need to go find Genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go
Uh,
left and
before
then
anyone
out.
Steps in, I'll go ahead and cast guidance on them for that intelligence check.
Yeah, I'm going to need that.
So is Evie or Edmont going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead and make an intelligence check, and you have the benefit of guidance.
And that's +2?
D4.
D4.
Oh, okay. That's a 16.
And is it your intention to follow Victor's instruction?
If it asks me left or right, I say Genie.
You say Genie?
Okay, I go left.
Okay. Yeah, you pop out next to Genie here.
And Genie
Edmont,
immediately squashes her down flat.
And I cast guidance on Edmont.
go ahead and give me that check,
Edmont looks,
Edmont.
Edmont looks back up at Orson for a moment before jumping in. Ooh, thanks for that, brother. That's an 8.
An 8 with the guidance?
Yep.
In or out?
Out.
Out. Edmont, you realize that you're not going upstream, so you try to push yourself out immediately down here. And
Yeah.
you spin around, but none of the creatures seem to have followed you.
Thank air. And he returns to the spot. Once again, brother. Try this again.
Yep.
Much better. That's a 21.
Edmund's like, I don't understand. I've been stupid for years and it's never been a problem before.
Exactly. I'm going to go left and then out.
Okay, then yeah, that would bring you right up here with your companions. And
Yeah.
suddenly, Ekon, you are alone in the room with Orson. And man, looking at him, he's definitely just a sack of meat with no brain in it.
So that's intelligence of 16,
Yep.
17. So this way and then out.
Okay. So you are all inside of the throne room now.
Ooh, okay.
Are we going to speak to the people? Like what? Like
Do they seem alive or are they statues?
they're being very still.
They have not moved
Have-
since Genie's gotten in, and neither Genie nor Victor have gotten close enough to examine them in any detail.
Well,
Yeah,
we're all here now, so I think we can investigate and set up whatever's going to happen here.
Well, you're not all here. Orson's still in the previous room.
Okay, well, he's being...
Edmont,
He's taking a
Sure.
siesta.
in the center of the room is what looks like a stone fire pit, but the fire inside is burning green instead of red. Off to your left, off to this side, you see another one of those metal structures. You've seen 3 of these now.
Yep.
with the 7 scoops. To your right here, the stairs lead up onto the dais upon which the throne is sitting. And looking up, if this is a statue, it is a brilliantly crafted and painted statue. Victor pontificated about whether it could have been an elf. And if elves did indeed have pointed ears, and elves did exist that had ashen gray skin, this one would fit the bill. It's wearing very regal clothes, a very dark blues and purples.
Edmont speaks out in Elven. Hello?
No response.
Victor looks down the hole.
Edmont tries dark unease.
Victor, look down the hole.
Yeah.
The center pit, it looks as though it's in the last stages of a dying fire. Glowing green embers. Edmund, you repeat your greeting in Darkanese, but there's still no response.
Berniskin?
Try any languages you like.
Yeah.
Just poke it, Edmont.
Is there any on the structure of the throne?
Mhm.
Is there any writing, art, anything like that, or is it just smooth stone?
It's very ornate. It's inlaid with jewels. You see precious metals and things. Anything that not so much writing, but perhaps magical runes written or chiseled into the side of the stone part of the structure in a language that you don't recognize.
This isn't like an actual physical structure. This is a construct of the mind. Whatever's trapped down there thought this into existence. Because it's not physical.
It looks like there's some kind of magic circuits built into the throne, and Genie will point him out. She says, judging by the inactivity of this being, maybe they are also some kind of seals.
Maybe.
They're not.
What about
I also know
Solitayre?
there's a passage up here, it looks like.
But they're not
Victor,
But-
heading towards
but
the
you
north end
said-
of the room, you see another stone shelf with one of the same metal flower-looking structures with the 7 scoops. Up on the second shelf across the way is an enormous pile of gold coins. And behind it, it does indeed seem to be a path blocked with a force field.
Guys, I know this is not what you expect me to say, but do not touch that pile of gold coins.
They're not
It
real.
seems a little suspicious.
yeah, they're not real. Why would we take them? Like I said, this is all a construct of whoever is imprisoned in here because you, Genie, when we first found this thing, you said that it was only supposed to hold one thing, right? And brother, your magics confirmed that basically.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that construct or not, if you touch that gold coin, pretty sure bad things are going to happen.
Well, whatever these are, they could be an extension of the creature that's being sealed. I don't know.
Edmund,
I'm
you
gonna
approach the second
okay.
throne.
Yeah.
Because child kings and child lords are not unheard of. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't be untoward. The problem is that this child is bald on the top of its head, and its face is chiseled and wrinkled with age, and an enormous beard grows down from its mutton chops and coils up in its lap. Also, he's wearing full plate armor, which you've never seen made this small before.
Eugenia, did you say that this was a child? This looks like no child I've ever seen before.
Said it was the size of a child. But what the heck?
You grabbed everybody. Don't grab everybody.
Yeah. The runes and things, are they similar, different?
The structure of the platform and the throne looks identical, but the runes inscribed, again, a language you can't read, but notably different from the first one.
All right. How many spell slots do I got left?
As you guys approach the third throne, nobody sits upon the third throne, but a creature nonetheless at its apex. A rather small creature. Big enough for you to pick up and carry in your hands. It looks like a bizarre tentacled jellyfish.
I have no idea what that could be.
And there are no carvings or runes on this structure whatsoever.
One of these things is not like the other.
I'm going to go ahead and just all right, give me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I gotta know. I'm gonna take 10 minutes to prepare a ritual for comprehend languages.
Okay.
Because we don't know how long we're gonna be in here. I'm not using a spell slot.
Is anyone else doing anything over the course of this 10 minutes?
Give me a second to check.
Just investigating the room.
Okay.
I just want to see if there's any useful rituals I have prepped.
Do I get any further on with dark vision, or is it just too distorted for me to be able to see any further than what you've revealed?
Yeah, your dark vision is not availing you much in this place because it's been pretty brightly lit anywhere you've gone. The problem looking through these force fields is light refracts through it in a strange way. So you can see the glow of one of the streams beyond, but you can't make out any actual details of the room.
This is the third one of these that we've found, cousin. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
So I like when Genie is done with the ritual, she kind of indicates she has an idea. Something that came to mind while she was standing here staring at these terrifying figures, waiting for backup while you guys got her younger brother brain eaten.
Right.
There was a pit full of brains over here.
There was.
Can you
Correct.
put the brains on the altar?
Yeah, I think we should have been putting brains on the altar at all times. Like, we just need to fill a backpack full of brains, bring it with us, and start.
Oh. I think you're right.
So we'll have to make our way back to the beginning and try that.
Oh, we can use the channel to go back there now if we are able to will ourselves.
I could probably put a new brain in Orson if I needed to.
Let's not jump to that just yet.
I don't want Orson to have a new brain. I want his old brain back.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
Genie, you cast Comprehend Languages?
Strictly,
Yes.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check, please.
Okay. That's a 17.
17. The runes carved into this platform and this platform don't spell out anything intelligible, which to your mind speaks of a magical schematic. Perhaps they're magic words. They're not meant to be read literally. The third one doesn't have any such inscription. Your conclusion, based on how the three altars are configured, kind of spaced evenly from each other, is that these two have arcane runes of protection and abjuration carved upon them, which makes you think the third one must also have some kind of protection, although it would not be arcane in nature.
Genie is going to... She'll pull down her goggles and take another look at this.
And looking through the psychic goggles, the creature sitting upon the throne is a very powerful psionicist indeed. And you can now see the protective psychic runes inlaid throughout the bottom of the structure, precisely where they are on the other two.
Yeah.
cousin, is there any mental presence with those two?
I'll take a look at them.
All three are conscious beings. They have brains.
Okay, so they're awake.
They're being held in stasis by probably whatever magic is on those thrones.
How many altars have we seen so far?
Three. There was one in the entrance room where you came in back here, with the brain pool. There was one in the corner of the
Crystal Spire?
the central center, and then there's one here.
What do you guys want to bet that each one of these altars might be tied to one of these beings?
I suspect the altars actually are going to remove these psychic barriers.
I'm thinking we should go put some brains on altars.
Well, first
Likely.
before we leave the room, let's actually try to physically interact with them. None of us have touched anything, and that's how you do things. So Genie's gonna walk up and talk about getting in and tactically touching things is the number one tenet of science. And she's going to poke I'm assuming I'm just dwarf. I'm gonna poke this dwarf in the chest.
Okay. Poke him in the chest.
Uh-huh.
Ekon.
Mhm.
There's no response when Genie pokes who she's calling a dwarf, which I think is just insensitive. However, behind you, at the moment she pokes the creature sitting on the throne, you see one of the embers in the fire pit next to you flare brightly for a second and spark out, and then die away as Genie pulls her hand back.
But this?
Genie, I don't think you should do that again.
Do what? And then she's gonna she's gonna poke it again. This?
And
No!
now that Ekon has drawn your attention, every time Genie pokes the creature, who doesn't move, there's a small flare in the fire pit in the center.
I suspect that if this pit is tied to the protection magic on these creatures, and if we harm them, then the fire in that pit would incinerate us.
I'm just gonna lay my hand. It's like you worry too much, and I'm gonna lay my hand
Mhm.
on the chest.
Genie's just like, why do they never listen to me?
Ekon, make me an Arcana check, please.
Sure.
Why is Victor running for the exit?
I think he has the right idea, honestly.
It's an Arcana of 5.
A 5? There's some relation to when Genie touches the creature sitting on the throne and the brightness of the embers in the pit, but you don't make the connection yourself. However, Genie, you get no response out of the creature.
Edmont prods the elf.
And yeah, same thing. When you prod
Genie-
the elf, there's a spark
Genie-
in the pit.
Evie hides behind the throne.
Genie, do you need me to go poke the tentacle thing?
Let me poke the tentacle thing since I have the goggles. You poke the little old man.
So now
Or-
Edmont, Ekon, and Genie are on the throne, poking
Uh-huh.
the creatures thereon. And
This is really insensitive.
there's nobody left to watch the embers in the pit because Evie and Victor have both headed for the hills.
I am. Can I watch the embers and just kind of reach behind me and poke at the thing?
Frustratingly, it's difficult.
Can
Because
Victor see anything from up here?
no, you're not standing at the edge of the pit.
Victor, come here.
All right, I'll do it.
Here, and I'll hand you because these goggles don't require attunement. I'll give you the psychic goggles. Here,
Evie, make
go
me an
poke-
Arcana check.
Okay.
I don't want to do the poking.
This room is called the Hokey Pokey.
Are you asking me for an Arcana check?
I am.
I'm not trained in Arcana.
Make it anyway.
Okay. Okay, I got a 16.
So right now, Ekon, Edmont, and Genie are poking these creatures, and you're seeing reactions in the fire pit. Small sparks, smolders, blaring brightly. And it occurs to you that they're going about it the opposite way. They're expecting that mucking around with the creatures on the throne will get a reaction from the pit. You're wondering if doing something to the pit will get a reaction from the creatures.
Maybe is there anything to stoke this fire with then?
Oh yeah.
We got some brains back there.
Ekon jumps down like, yes, my time to shine.
Take the gold coins and throw some of the gold coins down the pit.
No. We haven't tried this. Genie's gonna open her bag of holding just to see what's in it.
Your stuff's in there.
Oh, so the bag of holding is functioning as normal?
As far as you know, you can't look inside of a bag. You have to reach inside of it and think about the thing you want.
Okay. Well, I'll reach inside and start pulling out oil.
Okay, we'll come back to Ekon in just a second. So you're pulling out what, like a flask of oil?
I've got how many flasks of oil do I have? I pull out 20 flasks of oil.
Just came tumbling out of your bag. I'm going to put it back in now. That's alarming.
No, 20 flasks of oil just came pouring out of the bag.
20 flasks of oil just came tumbling out of your bag.
Do I have the flask of oil in my hand?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay.
Ekon, what was your idea? Because you stepped forward first before Genie.
Oh no. If Genie has stuff to burn, I'm very happy to work with her.
Yeah, Genie, you're
Edmont.
holding a flask of oil in your hand.
Okay, so I just throw all 20 flasks of oil into the fire.
I'm gonna step back a little bit when.
I'm gonna step back a lot.
Oh, well, imaginary flasks of oil.
There's a great fire in the room now!
Oh my!
We're beating it down with pillars, and I haven't heard the horn. I'm not going to press the button, but things are getting very hot.
Victor is against the wall laughing his ass off.
Wait, why? Why did the oil? How did the oil catch on fire?
You threw
Out
20
there.
vials of oil into this pit. Now, in the room you're sitting in, there's a great pillar of green flame that shoots up to the center of the room. And suddenly, all three of the creatures on the thrones are very animate and angry and yelling at each other. And even though they're not speaking Ferniscan or Darkanese, nonetheless, you can understand what they're saying. In fact, the one on the throne behind you isn't speaking at all, but communicating in sounds that can only be described as flatulence. They're having a very heated debate about the military implications of what should happen if this alliance should falter in the face of the Illithid threat. And that's about as far as they get before the three of them look down and realize that there are interlopers in the room.
Edmont holds up his hand and says, "Hello?"
The man in the throne you're standing next to here stands up, peers down, and you've probably never spoken to an actual elf before.
Never.
But none of the elves in your stories or mythologies are like this one. This one has this ashen gray skin and locks of stark white hair, and there's no love of beauty in his face when he peers down at you. Who are you? And how did you get in here?
I'm Veritas of House Veritas. My cousin, the Duchess Evelyn Veritas. Edmont gestures over to the opposite side. We're that's kind of a long story, actually.
Genie, the creature behind you,
Uh-huh.
who is speaking through just puffs of wind, shaped and folded by its tentacles. Nonetheless, you can understand it. Shall the interlopers be cast into the flame, and then we can continue our negotiation?
No, there's no need for
no.
that.
That's not very friendly of you.
The third one, down here, scoffs and laughs. Come to make friends, have you? Sneaking in unseen is a terrible way to do that, and no mistake.
You mean sneaking in unseen? We've been wandering around this place for half an hour.
Where do you think we are?
Which one are you asking, Ekon?
I guess the one closest to me.
This is the one up on the tentacle creature up on the throne?
Yeah.
The thing gazes across the room to its two companions for a moment,
That silly googly eyes.
and then looks back at you. Perhaps we can make use of the interlopers, it says. Where do you think we are?
Inside the brain of a squid monster.
Inside a mirror, inside a hell plane, inside a mist.
Yep.
That's a really hard question to answer. We're gonna get real metaphysical.
Like onions. It's just layers.
The better question, friends, Victor shouts from up here, is why are you here?
The three of them, each of them, their people have suffered great losses to the Illithid advance in the past months. This one in the corner.
Yeah, you're gonna have to back up a little bit and tell us what this Illithid means.
Oh, it becomes clear very quickly that they mean a creature similar to the one you've seen in that stasis chamber.
Okay, so they're the ones with the squids for the face. Got it. Okay.
And
The one down here in the corner, the small one with the beard, floated the idea of this three-way alliance between their three peoples, thinking that this was the only way they could stand against the encroaching Illithid threat. However, the Dark Elves are against any sort of alliance, and the Flumphs are only for retreating cowards that they are and giving ground.
Well, we're here now.
Well, hold on, Victor. Don't promise nothing.
No, it's time for Victor to do his thing where he tries to be diplomatic and fucks everything up.
Let's.
Can we just assume that's already happened and move on?
Can we skip that step, please?
If you start doing the voice, we're gonna get upset with you.
Like Victor, Victor has like a suave voice that he tries to put on, and we all just go, "Oh
look at
no!"
him.
The fire is mostly under control. I estimate that 20 vials of oil tumbled out of the pack and spontaneously combusted. The excitement is over now, and I have resumed eating my sandwich.
Please enjoy your sandwich. Did you
the
hear
other
that, by the
creatures
way?
see that?
Yeah. Did you hear that, by the way?
So, these Illithids.
Did
No,
the guys hear-
Edmont really wants an answer to that question. Did you just hear a masculine voice just talk about vials of acid spontaneously combusting and then finishing a sandwich?
No one on the throne heard the voice at all.
Okay.
You guys heard it clear as a bell.
Okay.
Here's the diplomatic position. The gnomes, for they are deep gnomes, want a temporary three-way alliance to push back the Illithids. They don't see any other way to combat the threat. He thinks that the elves are cruel and the Flumphs are cowardly. The elves will only agree to an alliance under the condition that the Flumphs and the gnomes are subservient to them. They join their armies as thralls and slaves, leaving the elves in command, which of course the other two parties have no desire to do. The Flumphs don't see the importance of maintaining the physical ground of the elf and gnome cities and holdfasts when they could just retreat from the Illithid advance.
Well, whatever you guys tried, I don't think it worked because you're trapped in the mirror now with the Illithid.
Whenever you mention being trapped in the mirror or the mists, it's as though their consciousness just warps around it. It's not that they don't hear you, it's that the thing that you've said is unimportant and immediately dismissed.
You know what? That makes sense, because I think that these three people are constructs of the being that was trapped in here.
It could be. Maybe they were successful and that's why he's trapped.
And anytime you ignore them and discuss things amongst yourselves, again, you get no actual response. They just resume their arguments across to one another.
Guy, why don't we try Genie's idea and we'll come back to these three later.
I mean, the fire will be out
Agreed.
by then.
What, you don't have more oil?
So-
You've used it all.
She may have used it all.
I dumped all 20 vials in there.
Why did you do that?
One vial would have done it,
Genie doesn't do
mean-
things halfway.
I guess.
Yeah, we'd need more. We need more. Something else
Try
to
taking
stoke
something
it.
that isn't in your bag out of your bag, because this is a world of mental constructs.
Okay. Genie is going to reach into her bag, imagine a fork, and pull it out.
Do you have a fork in your bag?
I do not.
Then you can't take a fork out of your bag.
So
Okay, I was just.
Victor goes over and grabs a handful of the coins.
Okay. And yeah, they're gold coins.
And then he walks over to the fire and he dumps them in, or throws them in the fire.
You drop a handful of gold coins into the fire. Doesn't even seem to elicit a response from the three kings debating amongst themselves.
Gold
So,
coins.
I'm gonna go over there and like. So you're a Flumph, right? That's what you said you were. So question for you: what happens when you run out of ground to retreat to? What do you do then?
The concept doesn't seem to even occur to it. There's always ground to retreat to. The world is infinite, and the planes beyond that are even more infinite. And the point of contention seems to be that the Flumphs can subsist on, well, whatever they subsist on, they don't need to grow or hunt or own anything. They don't have the same conceptualization of property that the elves and gnomes have. The elves and gnomes are magical peoples, but they need farms. They need livestock. They need to build things, where the Flumphs are not constrained thereby.
So, okay, well, you have then. They can't flee like you can, so I guess I see the point in that it's unimportant to you, but do you care one way or the other whether these other two peoples die?
Make a persuasion check.
Alright, this is not going to go well. That went very well. Surprisingly. That is a 22.
Wow.
The thing does have a face on the front of it. I guess the closest approximation to anybody who hasn't seen an image of a Flumph would be like the Dragon Quest heel slime.
Yeah. Googly eyes.
Them googly eyes.
And you see the realization dawn on it. Your argument is that the Flumphs are able to retreat, but the gnomes and elves cannot, because they would be abandoning their food and their peoples and their homes. Yes, this makes sense. Very well. The Flumphs will stand and fight the Illithid threat, but not under the control of the Dark Elves. We will not be enslaved again. And this just causes a whole new row of debate amongst the three. But Genie, you've gotten the sense that if you float a reasonable middle ground, the Flumphs are on board.
Cool.
What's the
Anybody
name
got
of the pirate Flumph in that stupid Spelljammer game?
Flapjack.
Flapjack the Flumph.
Flapjack is my spirit animal. I love the art for Flapjack.
All right. I guess Evie will approach the Drow.
Okay.
And the Drow's argument is he wants all three races to fight together, but they all want to do it under control of the Drow.
No, he wants them to be slaves.
It is the correct and appropriate position in the hierarchy of living beings that the Dark Elves subjugate the lesser races beneath them. There is no argument here. Our empire is the oldest and largest and most powerful, militaristically and magically. We could sweep all of them off the face of the world, so we chose.
Then why are you here seeking an alliance?
Yeah, it sounds like you aren't in control of anything right now. It sounds like the Illithids are on the cusp of taking everything from you.
So why don't you submit to them for slavery? And...
Here's the problem you're having is you all three have a common enemy, but rather than coming together, you are making this situation worse because you're turning potential allies hostile.
At that, the gnome behind you gruffs for a moment. As I've never known the Drow to be unhostile. Evie, make me a persuasion check.
I can do that. My persuasion's actually really good, which means I'll probably roll really badly.
So
I rolled a 1.
So your problem is you color the dice. That makes them roll worse.
Yeah.
So what does that one turn into?
A 7.
7?
See, this is supposed to be what I'm good at, but the dice don't agree with me.
Dice tell their own story.
The problem with trying to persuade this Drow to do anything is that pointing out the logic that... So is it... I guess I'll ask. Is Evie's argument that these Illithid are stronger and superior to you if they're this close to wiping you out? Why don't you just subjugate yourself to them?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the three of you should work together. The fact that you need to fight together doesn't mean that these people should be your slaves.
That's Genie's argument.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Edmont would absolutely advance that argument. If these dark elves are so strong, then why haven't they claim this victory all on their own.
So, Evie, the answer from the Drow is that once these other peoples take their rightful place as the Dark Elves' thralls, and which would give the Dark Elves the essentially foot soldiers and cannon fodder that they need to win this war, the tide will turn very swiftly. That's his stance. Edmont and Genie, which one of you wants to make this roll? You can make it an advantage if you're both.
Yeah, I got a +2.
The DC is
That's
going to be
you.
higher now because Evie's already unpersuaded him.
Beeped it. That's you because I don't have a bonus to persuasion.
Okay.
Listen, Edmont led with this because he's got a shitty charisma.
That is a 19.
The Drow bristles at the statement. The gnome thinks it's very funny when you point out, like, hey, so if you're all about subjugating the lesser races, shouldn't you subjugate yourselves before these Illithids if they're obviously so much more powerful than you? The Drow sits back a little bit. Perhaps a more acclimating alliance can be reached in the short term.
I believe the word you're looking for is equitable.
You see he struggles to use the word equitable for a moment. But then he nods. In the short term, of course. And you get the sense that if you
five heads turned toward the gnome.
If you manage to float a reasonable sounding negotiation to all parties, the Drow will reluctantly be on board.
All right, so what did the gnome want?
The gnome called this meeting.
Uh-huh.
He and his people want to stand against the Illithid threat. And you can see he's looking very pleased with himself, having convinced the other two.
So it sounds like he already has what he wants.
It looks that way.
Do you have any... I guess we'll ask him. Do you have any, like, demands of an alliance? Mr. Deep Gnome, sir?
The only demand would be that we show no quarter to our adversary. To which the Dark Elf and the Flumph both agree. And for the first time, all three of the kings are in agreement on something, at least.
Sounds like you guys have it figured out then.
Brother, these kinds of creatures have never been written about in Air's text, right? About unseelie stuff.
I don't know. Do any of these sound familiar to me?
I'm sure at some point in the 1,000 years of Ferniscan history, somebody has described a small, bearded, wrinkly creature like this gnome.
I was referring to the Illithid.
Oh, to the Illithid. None that would be credible. I mean, depending on how far you go into unseelie territory, you might find any number of monstrous constructs.
So, what is the state of the war? Like, what are like the Illithids? Like, what are their numbers? Like, where are they encroaching the most?
As you direct the conversation, as the three parties are now more in agreement than disagreement, you start to get the feeling that they could turn the tide against them. And then the conversation steers towards... If you'll bear with me one moment. Whether or not to call upon Curzo for assistance. Whether this Curzo should be brought in to the Alliance.
What is Curzo?
And you ask that, and as you do, the three creatures fade away from the thrones. The green embers immediately die down in the center of the room.
What's the Curzo?
I wonder if Curzo is the creature who is trapped here.
Maybe it was the creature that trapped him.
He was not on good terms with the rest of his people.
But wait, Curzo... Wait. No, but the way that they described him, it's exactly like the drawing that I took from Edmont's vision, or Ekon's vision.
Oh yeah, there's no question that the Illithids they're describing are the ones that you saw in the vision.
Yeah, that's
So-
not a.
Kirizo is the group of Illithids?
You don't know.
I think Kirizo is the Illithid who's trapped here, because he was an enemy of his own people. They trapped him here.
So, all right.
That is true.
We're gonna find out.
Are the thrones still active? They died down with their
The three
energies?
figures on the thrones have faded away, and the fire in the center of the room has gone cold.
I feel like this is all a trap to get us to free this creature without knowing what we're doing.
Pile of gold is still there.
Genie is. What the heck? Why does that
Picking
happen?
up everybody because you don't want us to have our own agency, I guess.
I'm curious if the gold, if we put it in the bag of holding, if it would appear in the real world.
That's
That's
what I'm
what I'm
going to
wondering.
try. Because, like, Genie is going to pick up one piece of gold and stick it in the bag of holding and,
Okay.
like, wait to listen. And then she's going to stick it in the bag of holding, right?
Yeah,
And then she's going to reach into the bag of holding and try to retrieve it.
and you can. And you're not holding a piece of gold.
But no shouts from the other side.
No shouts from the other side.
Yeah, okay.
But you wanted
So-
that when it popped out of the bag of holding, Sedgwick pocketed it.
Brains.
I suppose.
Seems like it's a good idea of any.
So
Yeah.
what's the idea now is to try to make your way back to this room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And start playing with brains?
Yes, we're
Yeah.
gonna try and put the brains on the altars.
I think we should check on Orson just to make sure he's
Yes.
okay.
Well, checking
Agreed.
on Orson would mean just climbing into the pool and then making sure you jump out somewhere along the circle. Is that the intent?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my intent.
Okay. Orson is still where you left him. You've also noticed that you previously counted 9 junctures inside of the pool where you saw these hexagonal carvings emitting lights. Now you see only 8.
Oh, the one that was here is gone. Because there wasn't one here, but there was one here. So that means that.
We need to
I
solve
think-
the rest of the puzzles to unlock the creature.
Think this might be. Yeah, I think they might be. Maybe they're using memories of some kind to seal him.
Probably. Probably means that
So-
flesh room has something we need to go deal with later.
I don't know. There is a pool into the flesh room, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
There's like 3 pools in the flesh room.
There are 3. So why don't we take a break here? I feel that if Sedgwick gets a sandwich, everybody else ought to have one too.
Agreed.
Go ahead and get your coffee, get your bagel. When we come back, I guess you'll head either back into the flesh room to continue poking or head into the brain room and poke there. You guys are just poking a lot of stuff right now.